Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Lightshade LE. We have the Mexican Protoss player. He is blue, representing Alpha X, the best Protoss player in all of Latino America. It is Pacomike. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have our Colombian Zerg. He is red, representing himself and huevos all over the world. It is eGGz. eGGz recently returning to form, and honestly, like a very solid result. You could argue an upset against Sinner. Again, they just played in the DreamHack qualifiers. Sinner was able to come out on top, but it was a best of 5 in those qualifiers. Here in the best of 3, eGGz was able to shine a little bit brighter. And now eGGz has made it here to the semis, and now he goes up against his old rival Pacomike. They are both champ killers. They are both players who really rose to prominence in 2020. I say rose to prominence, like kind of peaked in their skill level then and there. And yeah, they're both amazing at what they do. It's kind of surprising, but like typically we do see these players in the DreamHack main event. This season though, they didn't make the cut, and now they're here in Desafiantes. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these players were the finalists, eGGz and Pacomike, but because of the seeding, because of the bracket, they face each other here in the semifinals instead. Oh boy. So we'll see who comes out on top here. Again, Pacomike I feel like is the more solid player, but Pacomike also does very Pacomike things. Like he loves going fast, Stargate fast, fleet beacon into carrier play, things of that nature, and sometimes it can be hard countered, especially on a map like Lightshade, which has a very short rush distance by ground. So we'll see how this goes here. As so far, the openers are incredibly standard. We do have a Stargate opener here from Pacomike. Again, it's kind of more of what we expect here from him, embracing that sky toss. But Pacomike, it's well within him to open up with a Void Ray and then follow that up with a Twilight Council, if he so wished. Meanwhile, oh my god, Pacomike being so annoying, delaying the base here of eGGz. Ugh. Not the biggest of deals, but again, very cute from Pacomike. Meanwhile, the Adept shows up. Ooh, does not get a drone. Oh, and he does shade into the main. Can he get a drone here? Oh, he does get one. Can he get 2? Wow. Oh my god, okay. Only 2. Again, just a couple of drones go down. On top of that, the Adept also gets all the scouting information it needs. It makes sure, hey, there's no fast gas, there's no Baneling Nest or an Evo Chamber for a Baneling Bust or a Ling Flood, there's no fast lair or anything crazy like that. It is all stock standard play from eGGz. And Pacomike did get out his first Void Ray. And with this Void Ray, he's going to be able to clean out this Scouting Overlord. And what does he do after this? Ooh, interesting. He follows this up with an Oracle, not a second Void Ray. So this tells us that Pacomike doesn't really want to go double Stargate Void Ray. Otherwise, he wouldn't stop Void Ray production. He's looking to transition into something else, which I would say makes sense on Lightshade. Going double Stargate Void Ray on Lightshade feels really risky. Regardless, Pacomike is going for a third base. Thankfully, he does have a Void Ray to defend against Lings, and that Oracle is being sent out across the map. And there we go again. Because of that Oracle, we knew that it wasn't going to be a second Stargate, and we see it. It is a Forge and a Twilight Council. And I'm smelling Blink Stalkers here. Like, the more standard thing is to go charge for Zealous, but I kind of want to see Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, oh god, the Miss Micro. Oh my god, Pacomike, please. The Oracle goes down only for 2 drones? Mate, you got 2 drones with an Adept earlier. And the Adept got more scouting as well. Pacomike, really throwing away his advantage there. Meanwhile, the Adepts do make it in, but there are Lings here to deal with it. These Adepts aren't going to deal too much damage. The Void Ray sneaks into the main, but is forced back. And I'm really curious to see what the upgrade's going to be here for Pacomike. He has a Robo that is on the way. There's +1, obviously, but show us. There it is. It is Blink. Again, this has become a lot more common recently after the Oracle opening. I'm going into Blink Stalker +1. Obviously, Charge would be more standard if we had some more Void Rays out on the map, if we had some Immortals as well. But Blink Stalkers like this does do very well against Roach heavy compositions, incredibly well. And obviously it lends more to players with good micro because of how much micro potential there is with Blink Stalkers. Is that player Pacomike? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. As we do have a couple of hallucinations being sent out across the map. Again, just to scout the main. He sees nothing in the main. He should see the Hydra Den in the natural, though. If he goes there and he doesn't. Mate, please, come on. You need to go to the natural. There we go. He sees the Roach Warren and, oh god, he does see the Hydra Den. Thank god. Also sees +1 on the way. So, I like this from eGGz. Kind of. So obviously he's going to commit to roaches early on, but if he goes for fast lurkers, mate, that's going to be beautiful. That's going to be great against what Pacomike's going for. We do see Hydra upgrades on the way though, which has me a little concerned that he's going to go Roach Hydra, but I'm sure eventually he will transition out of it. It is just merely a stepping stone here for eGGz. As we do see the 4th on the way. eGGz was, you know, again, just testing the waters here at the 3rd base of Pacomike. But again, this is the strength of Protoss nowadays. You just wall off, you get a bunch of shield batteries and cannons, you just defend at your 3rd, your main armies at your 4th. Pacomike expanding beautifully. And working on that splash damage, right? We got Colossus on the way, we got Disruptors as well, double Robo production, extended thermal lance. Just getting everything he needs. For the most part. I'm not too fond of this. Like, part of me wishes like Colossus, maybe Storm would be cool, but regardless, like, he's using what he has here. He doesn't have a Temple Archives to go into anything like that. And I think what's interesting to me, I guess it's because he scouted the Hydra Den. He actually didn't, even though he got Blink Stalkers, like, he hasn't gotten that many of them. Like, this is the first wave of Stalkers out right now. And he's going straight into charge. And meanwhile, here we go. Dropper Lords are on the way here. 4 eGGz who can try and hit the main base. Maybe force a recall and hit one of the other bases at the same time. Oh boy, the defenses of Pacomike are going to be put to the test here. Pacomike, he's not close to being supply blocked. He has room to recall. Lings flood in, but the Lings get met by these Blink Stalkers. They're going to get cleaned up pretty easily. At the same time, here comes the main army. Ooh, the Colossus is exposed. It's exposed. Oh my god, the Colossus. It's, oh god, please! Yo, the Colossus just barely survives. Oh my god. I can't. Pacomike, please, here we go. The drop does come into the main base. There's nothing here. Probes are going down, and at the same time, eGGz is going to push into the 3rd. Alright, Pacomike, how do you defend? What do? He warps in at home. Meanwhile, the main army will respond to the Hydras of eGGz. What can he do? Okay, there's a bit of an Artosis pylon. It is going to go down. It is going to delay some production. Oh god, the Disruptor does go down for free as well. Does not get a single Disruptor shot off. Now the Colossus are vulnerable. There's not a lot here to protect them. And now the first Colossus falls. The second Colossus as well. There's no shield battery at the natural. There's no overcharge. Oh my god. Meanwhile, that drop did not get cleaned up. It actually overpowered the army of Pacomike. Pacomike goes for an overcharge here at the 3rd, but there's nothing here. Pacomike being pulled apart, and that, mate, that's it, mate. It's there's no way to come back from this. Sure, we got Colossus on the way, but everything is on fire. +1 is going to be denied. Pacomike was trying to go into carriers, but the fleet beacon is going to do nothing here. There's still roaches in the main, by the way. Like, Pacomike is really struggling to clean all this up. And I was talking about that stepping stone earlier. There we go. Lurkers are on the way for eGGz. Shaking my head, Pacomike, shaking my head. Here we go, the Roach Hydra is here. The Colossus are denied, and once these lurkers show up, there's nothing really to contest them. There's no disruptors here. There is one immortal, but what is one immortal really going to do in this situation? Disruptor pops out. Gets 2 roaches, but only 2 roaches, and this is the end of the end here for Pacomike. eGGz, he had a beautiful timing. He pulled his opponent apart, and GG gets called. eGGz takes game number 1. Wow, what a game. Pacomike, I liked everything up to a point. Unfortunately, his reaction to the double-pronged attack wasn't amazing, right? We saw his disruptor go down for free. I don't think that disruptor got a single shot off, unfortunately, and because of that, like, you invest a lot when you go into disruptors, and you expect a return out of them. Without that, then you're so vulnerable, right? It's just wasted resources, wasted time. Also, on top of that, his positioning with his Colossus wasn't ideal either. His shield batteries weren't there. It is natural. He didn't have a defensive position to fall back to. Like, there was a lot lacking there for Pacomike. And eGGz took full advantage of that. And to be fair, like, even from the beginning of the game, Pacomike was kind of falling apart. Like, if you recall the first Oracle, getting only 2 drones before going down, like, that wasn't a good start. But Pacomike has a chance to kind of shake the rust off, you know, make sure he doesn't ponder too much on game number 1. I mean, at the end of the day, it was really just the execution that fell flat a little bit there from Pacomike. I'm sure he knows that he can do better. We know he can do better. And here in game 2, hopefully he can really pull everything together and show off why he's considered to be one of the best. As we are loading into game number 2. This is why I love Demon Swap. Demon Swap in the chat just said, "Good luck, Mancos and LOL." eGGz has been playing a lot of League of Legends, so has Pacomike. Shaking my head, guys. Alright. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have our Colombian Zerg player. He is red. He is up 1-0 in this best of 3 semi-finals. It is eGGz. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have our Mexican Protoss player. He is blue, representing Alpha X, currently down 0-1 in this best of 3 semifinals. Can he bring it back? It is Pacomike. And can he bring it back? Oh, of course. Of course he can. Will he though? That is the question, because that game 1 really didn't go his way. He was investing in a lot of tech that didn't use either. Like, I assumed that he was going to go for a much more heavy Blink Stalker push off of 3 bases. That's why he got it first, if you remember. But if he wasn't going to go for that, then going for a charge would have been so much better. Avoid the Blink Stalkers, get a bunch of charge slots. They do so well against roaches and hydras. Like, there were a lot of like resources that could have been spent a little bit more efficiently there. If Pacomike knew where he wanted to go. It did feel like a little bit unfocused, if you will. But we'll see. We'll see how game number 2 goes. Hopefully he can bring it back here. I would love to see some... we're on Jagannatha. I would love to see some Void Ray play. Some double Stargate Void Ray does so well on a map like Jagannatha. Jagannatha, there's just a lot of dead space into the main. It's quite long as well. It's relatively easy to get 3 bases and even a 4th base up and running. You can wall some areas off with plenty of buildings. Of course, something that's a threat are queen pushes because of these speed zones, so that can come into play, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure Pacomike could defend. I'm sure. Meanwhile, personally, as much as I love Pacomike, I would love even more a TvZ finals. I would love to see Chaos Fate go up against eGGz, personally. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes here. As Pacomike is sending his first adept across the map, at the same time we do have a Stargate opener, just like game number 1, and we'll keep an eye on things. We'll see if he goes for an Oracle again, we'll see if he commits to the Void Rays. As the first adept does arrive, there are slow links to meet them. This adept shouldn't deal too much damage as he does commit to the Shade, is trying to get one drone. Oh, he does get one. Yo, pretty good so far. Can he get a, oh my god, he's gonna get, oh, he almost got a second. Okay, only one so far. Ooh. Good defense there by eGGz. One drone for an adept, mate, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And we have our first Void Ray. Only one though, only one. And we'll see if a second gets thrown down. Meanwhile, Funada the Stan in the chat. I asked if he could join me for a cast, but unfortunately he does have work tomorrow, so he will not be joining me. Regardless, mate, thanks for considering joining the cast. Alright, Lings they get across the map. Ooh, there's no shield battery behind this. They will push through this if there's no response from Pacomike, but thankfully there's a Void Ray. Ooh, just in time. And Pacomike will defend and get his third up and running. And just like game number 1, we have a Twilight Council and a Forge. He does not want to go Stargate. Okay. We'll also have a very fast robo. So last time we saw Blink Stalkers with +1. And I was talking about it earlier. He didn't really use it, so like it was kind of a waste. Like I would love to see Charge instead. If you go for Blink Stalkers, like mate, you gotta actually make the Stalkers, right? You gotta be active across the map. You gotta utilize it. But we'll see what happens here. Meanwhile, eGGz is going for something completely different. We have +1 melee being researched. The Evo Chamber has not been spotted. He's going for a massive Ling Bane aggression here. Oh my god. Meanwhile, the Lings, they do get across the map. There are plenty of sentries here to defend, and that is the plus side for Pacomike. Because of the Ling Bane composition from eGGz, like, mate, sentries are so much better. They do spend some of their energy on these hallucinations, but again, there are going to be no Ravagers to deal with these force fields. So the sentries, like their force fields, just have so much more value here. As long as they force field, like, well. So you gotta always add that caveat, right? Like it also depends on the micro of the player. Meanwhile, there it is again, +1. Blink is on the way. Immortal. We have a robotic spay. Pacomike is really trying to make this work. This is exactly what he did in game 1. What I will say is that on a map like Jaganatha, it is easier to defend than on Lightshade. Like your bases are closer together. There's kind of like one area to push in from. Sure, the main base is large, but this time he does have a couple of pylons to help give him vision. Meanwhile, Banelings are being morphed in. Yo, eGGz is gonna try and go for a run by. The wall is not a wall yet, so the Banelings could waddle in, but there is a Void Ray here. Lings do distract a little bit. Banelings are getting ready. Oh my god, 6 Banelings in total. Jesus, it's a lot of Banelings. And he is going Hydra Ling Bane. Okay, I dig it. And yeah, the Banelings, the wall does get up and running. The Banelings aren't going to find too much. They shouldn't find too... Paco, please? Paco? What? Oh my god, the Banelings, they get in. Pacomike, he wasn't paying attention. The Void Ray was just on patrol. Oh my god. And somehow, some way, those Banelings waddle in and get 9 probes. 9 more probes than they really should have gotten. Like, they waddled in the long way around, and somehow, some way, they still dealt the damage. Meanwhile, still have more Colossus on the way. This time we do not have charge, which is interesting. If I recall, last time Pacomike started charge pretty quickly after blink, so this time he's going to be committing a little bit more to those Wing Stalkers, which I do appreciate. But that's a lot of Banelings, and this time Baneling speed is done. No waddle by. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, so I do feel like overall Pacomike, he has refined this build more so than game number 1. I do think he isn't as spread out as he once was. You know, we have more cannons, we have more shield batteries. Like, he's set up nicely here. He can definitely pull this off. He shouldn't be torn apart like he was in game 1. But that's a big army, mate. Ling Bane, let's go. It does get spotted. Pacomike knows. Only one shield battery at the same time. The Banelings are rolling in. Oh my god, the Lings are trying to get on top of these sentries. Where are the force fields? Where are the force fields? No! Papi, please! Oh my god. That's it, mate. The Colossus fall. Disruptor shot does not go off. Everything crashes down. Meanwhile, the Banelings even smashed into the third base. Pacomike, you had what you needed. You had it. In the end, it looks like Pacomike will hold, but he sustained a lot of losses. Oh my god, every single sentry going down for free. The Colossus falling, the probes falling. Thankfully, one Colossus does survive, and we do have another on the way. No, we do not. But we should have another on the way. Pacomike, he can stabilize from here. It's not the worst case. He's still, you know, relatively even in workers. There we go. We do have a couple of replacement stack defense being thrown down. We have another Baneling run by though. Oh god. eGGz is getting ready to hit again. And the problem is that this entire time, like, Pacomike, he's defending at home and eGGz is getting away with a lot of economy. Normally that's okay, but Pacomike, he's not like taking up the Sky Toss. Not yet anyway. Like, I don't know, mate. We'll see. Again, just like the first engagement, we need force fields. That's all we need. That's all we need. Force fields. Force fields. What? Again, every single sentry goes down. The Banelings, they find the connections. Oh my god, everything is falling here. The Banelings get into the mineral line. Into not just one, but both mineral lines. Oh my god, Pacomike, what's happening? Twice now. He gets distracted by the Baneling run by, and the sentries, they just want to die. Ay, ay, ay. Por favor, papi, please. Like, there's no, like, again, there's no Ravagers here. Like sentries, they're borderline OP in this scenario defensively. Like, you can cut up the army, you can wall off against the Banelings, and the Banelings can't do anything against a force field wall. But time and time again, Paco, he's just distracted by the run by. That just has to be it. I know that with my camera, I'm focusing on the main engagement here as the run by is happening. I'm aware it's happening. I'm having a hard time like showing both. I feel like the main army is a little bit more important. And again, like Pacomike, he's just getting too distracted. Oh my god, speaking of, eGGz is getting ready for a full surround. Pacomike, oh my god. The Colossus, the Banelings are connecting with the Colossus. One of them does fall, the second is so close to falling as well. Overcharge is being used, but it does run out, and there goes the final Colossus of Pacomike. Oh my god. Regardless, Pacomike will defend, but at the cost of his Colossus, his shield batteries, anything and everything. He only has a couple of gateway units left. And eGGz, he just remakes and remaxes, and this time he's not like brute forcing his way through. I was a little bit worried that he may just try and Ling Bane Hydra and just keep sending wave after wave after wave until either he or his opponent just like falls apart. But we do have a lurker then, so thankfully he is taking up, he is working on that next stage of the game. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of a Ling run by. Oh my god, a Baneling run by as well. Oh my god, the Banelings, they want to connect with the High Templar. Oh my god, High Templar, please! Oh god! Every single time, it's either the sentries or the High Templar. Just it's all just coming apart here. I was looking and Storm isn't researched. I don't know if Pacomike forgot about it or if he wanted some Archons instead. The Colossus are falling. Lurkers are just not needed at this stage. At this stage of the game, everything is just falling apart here for Pacomike. Boys are being pulled to defend against Zealots, and that's fine. Like, eggs, he has boys to spare. And sure, Pacomike distracted eggs a little bit there, but only a little bit. Oh my god, a Doom of Malantai with the not like this. With the cranky oh no's. I feel like that's the very apt emote for this situation. Oh no. If I didn't have to have my hands on the keyboard right now, they would be on my head. It's just not like this. Meanwhile, eggs, Hive is done. We do have the Vipers coming out. Adaptive Talons are on the way as well, so he's going into the Hydra Lurker Viper. What I will say is that, I mean, thankfully Pacomike, he does have some High Templar for feedbacks. Storm is on the way finally as well. Like, he is refining his army. He's getting the correct army against what he's up against, but it's just a numbers game at a certain point. Eggs is about to max out, and Pacomike, he's down 80, 90 supply. Oh my god. I blame lag, true. Could be lag.
Game paused.
As Pacomike does ask for a pause. I hope everything's okay. Over in the land of Pacomike. I know he has had some issues in the past when it comes to like weather in his area and that affecting not just his internet but his electricity as well. So yeah, I hope everything's okay. Like, all jokes aside, I do love Pacomike. As we are getting back into game. Hopefully everything is okay. Meanwhile, as we get back into the game, Baneling Run-By is coming in once again into the 4th base. Oh my god, no reaction whatsoever. Pacomike, please! Oh god, the mineral line does go down. At the same time, we do have a bit of a Zealot Run-By, but it runs into reinforcements. It shouldn't deal too much damage. We have another Ling Bane Run-By here. Disruptor shot goes off. Ooh, juicy connection there with the Disruptor, but the Lings do get on top of it. The Disruptor is exposed. It just barely is kept alive, but the Banelings are rushing in. They're rushing in. Oh god! But the Stalker holds the line. The Banelings do not get into the mineral line. Not yet. But now they get in. Oh god, oh god. Oh god. And GG gets called. GG. Congratulations. There was a fight here over on the right-hand side. Congratulations, Eggs. He does take the series 2-0 and moves on to the grand finals. Congratulations. I'll just have to wait for the stream to catch up to send out those channel points. And with that, we have our finalists. Yeah, Pacomike, we've seen him perform better than that. There were a lot of moments there where he just wasn't looking at the right place at the right time. The Banelings, they got better connections than they should have, right? Twice we saw 4 or 5 sentries go down to Banelings, even slow Banelings. We did see some slow Banelings get into mirror lines that they shouldn't have gotten into. We saw them connect with High Templar as well. Yeah, Pacomike was just really struggling to multitask. And yeah, I don't really know what to attribute that to. I mean, I guess maybe he's a little bit out of practice, you know. There was a time where he was laddering consistently all the time. But nowadays, as Demon Swap even said, Pacomike is playing a little bit less StarCraft and a little bit more League of Legends, and maybe that is why he that is why he is having a harder time to qualify for DreamHack. And even here in Desafiantes. Oh. And yeah, with that, congratulations. We do have our finals that are being set up here. It is going to be that PvZ that we were hoping for. It is going to be eGGz versus Chaos Fate. Let's just set that up. Boom. And let's start those predictions. This time for the grand finals. This, of course, is going to be our very first best of 5, not a best of 3. Against our Colombian Zerg and our Peruvian Terran. It's going to be a spicy matchup. And it's going to take us a little bit to get things underway. If anyone in the chat has contact with Chaos Fate, then do try and get in touch with him, because it looks like Chaos Fate is MIA. Chaos Fate, he is not online at the moment. Maybe he went for a bit of a break after his series against Master. Maybe he thought the lower semifinals was going to be a little bit faster. Ooh, and we just got updated by Darking that apparently Chaos Fate is not at home at the moment. He's actually like in El Cerro, I think, like in the mountains, with a laptop. So he's actually playing on a shitty laptop at the moment. Quote by Chaos Fate. So hopefully his internet is okay, and hopefully his electricity is okay as well. Again, like I hope that they are able to sort things out. Worst case scenario is that we may have to replace Chaos Fate. I doubt we're going to have a walkover. Like, again, worst case scenario, we may have Master fill in for Chaos Fate, and we'll have a Master versus eGGz finals. I could see that happening, but of course, Darking is going to give Chaos Fate some time to come back. I believe the walkover period is around 15 minutes, so Chaos Fate does have some time to show up, and hopefully he does. Like, again, he's a very good player. He made it this far. He deserves to be in the finals. I would love to see him go up against eGGz. We are back. I hope everyone enjoyed those duct tapes. We have some pretty fun ones. We have a lot. If you want to tune in to some of the older duct tapes, then check out our YouTube channel. Or !duct tape in the chat. We have a playlist for them. I think we have like 50 duct tapes or something like that. We have an obscene amount from back in the day. It's just a bunch of highlights from whence we began. So yeah, I do have some very unfortunate news though, because Chaos Fate is MIA. If you recall, if you weren't here and if you tuned in during the break, Chaos Fate, he obviously played out his series, and then during Pacomike versus eGGz, Chaos Fate went offline. We do know that Chaos Fate isn't at home. He's actually like out with his family, out in like the mountains of Peru, and he's playing on a laptop, with not necessarily the most stable electricity or the most stable internet. So we don't really know what happened. We waited 15 minutes. Of course, he had 15 minutes to come back, and he didn't show. A couple of people did message him on WhatsApp and try and get in contact with him, but to no avail. We just haven't been able to get in touch. So because of that, there were a couple of options available, and what we have decided is that there won't be a walkover. Instead, the finals will be rescheduled. And I guess it makes sense, right? Like, obviously there was maybe, you could argue that maybe Master should go in Chaos Fate's place, and then we'll still have a finals anyway. But I think because Chaos Fate did earn his place here in the finals, and again, like, he could be unavailable through no fault of his own, they've decided to reschedule, you know, like, we have 24 hours, try and get in contact with him again, try and reschedule, figure out what happened, make sure everything's okay, and then the finals will take place tomorrow after DreamHack. So that is what things are looking to be here. Of course, we'll try our best to cast it tomorrow. Whether or not we will is still up in the air. The reason for that is because our next broadcast is soon, TM. It is in 6 hours. Shelby, see Shelby. Love Shelby. Oh god, as I quickly switch scenes to the schedule, I believe this schedule is not necessarily up to date. It is not up to date. But in soon TM, we'll be live with DreamHack Oceania Rest of Asia B stream. Let me just quickly change that here. I'll just it is going to be at 7 p.m. AEST, which is in 6 hours and 11 minutes. So in 6 hours, we will be live over on ESL_SC2B with Oceania. Straight after that, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and then we have like an hour break, and then we'll be live with DreamHack Masters Fall 2021 Europe, and then after that, Latin America, and then after that, probably the finals of this tournament. So it is unfortunate, very unfortunate, but we have a long day ahead of us. I'm actually about to go on a nap, so it's a bit of a shame that we won't have the finals today. They're going to try and reschedule it for tomorrow, so if you want to tune into the finals, be sure to be there tomorrow. Meanwhile, if you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings casting, not just me solo casting, but I'll be here with my co-caster Alex and Yakuzaku and Kuro. We're gonna have everyone. We're all gonna be there for ESL DreamHack. 6 hours. 6 hours from now, we're gonna be live. And if you are from the Americas, North America or Latin America, then be there for DreamHack Europe and DreamHack Latin America, because we are gonna be casting. We're gonna be live from the B stream. So be there, support us. Again, it's always a little bit scary casting on the ESL B stream because it's full of people that don't know us. Typically, there are a lot of people tuning in for the first time, so it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. People being introduced to us, you know, we always want to give the best impression we can when we are on the B stream. And sometimes it can be hard. Especially DreamHack Europe. I'm honestly a little bit anxious about casting DreamHack Europe because, like, I'm very well versed when it comes to the players in North America, Latin America, Oceania, Southeast Asia, even Korea. But when it comes to the Europeans, because of the time zone, I don't cast a lot of European players. I also don't watch a lot of European StarCraft, so because of that, like, when I'm casting, I don't have that to fall back on. Like, I don't have like a history of the players to like start talking about. Instead, I have to rely a little bit more on just pure game knowledge. And sometimes, like, there can be instances where, like, I can kind of maybe even run out of things to say. So yeah, the DreamHack Europe cast is going to be a challenge for sure. But the Oceania one and the Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Latin America, yo, they're gonna be a lot of fun. They're gonna pop off. Like, there's so much to talk about for those. It's gonna be insane. So yeah. Be sure to tune in to at least one of them. We'll really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, it's a bit of a shame that we don't have the finals today, but what are we gonna do? Like, unfortunately, Chaos Fate just isn't available. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. You know, Adrian Rising, Familiar One, ARJ Skater, Dank B, I see you in the chat as well. ERWTU, what? But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. As again, our next broadcast is going to be in 6 hours, and if you want to tune into more of our broadcasts, then !socials in the chat. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All of our VODs are uploaded to YouTube eventually, and if you want to again, engage with us outside of just these casts, and you can also join our Discord channel. All the Ducklings are there. Myself, Yaku, Darking, Steel Mode, Milk and Cookies, Yoda Slim, we're all there on that Discord channel if you want to get in touch. And yeah, if you want to support us even further, you can of course subscribe to the Twitch channel. Check us out on Patreon. We have different ways to support the CranKy Ducklings, and by supporting the CranKy Ducklings, you support and help fund the tournaments that we run, like Desafiantes, and also our pro team. We have a bunch of pro players in Oceania. Starduck is going to be playing today in DreamHack Oceania. Ryu is going to be playing in Latin America, and Pacomike would be playing in North America, but Pacomike did have to give up his spot there. Keep an eye on Twitter if you want to be notified by what happened with Pacomike. Unfortunately, his DreamHack group is scheduled at the same time that he's actually going to be out of town and traveling, so he doesn't have access to his PC. So feels bad, man. Pacomike will not be playing in DreamHack, even though he qualified. It's a bit of a shame. It's very unfortunate. But with that, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you had a good time, and we will see you in 6 hours. Ciao.
Weird. Fuck it, man.